for inviting me for this and putting this on this real estate successes. My name is Rico Portaro. I'm with Cross Country Mortgage. And before I begin, I want to let you all know my #1 greatest fear is public speaking. So please bear with me.
Let's go.
With that in mind, I know it's getting a little late in the night, so let's light this candle, shall we?
Come on.
Yeah! Woo! All right, a little bit about me. This is the fam. On the upper left is my lovely little lady. She is the rock of our family unit, Courtney. Bottom left is my stepdaughter, Eleanor, who is 11 going on 26. And the newest member of our family, my 20-month-old son, Rex, who is eating us out of house and home. And of course, speaking about things that I've got to feed and keep alive, here are our pets. On the upper left is Owen, our black Husky Shepherd mix. The guy below him is a black lab, and I would be remiss not to mention our hedgehog aptly named Spike.
Hey. I like Spike.
All right, so a little bit about me. Vegas native, born and bred. I'm one of the few. Own a house out here, raising my family here, love this city. Very, very excited to be a part of this and give back to the community. Love what success is about. Huge sports nut. If you guys like the Dallas Cowboys, Ohio State Buckeyes, or the Vegas Golden Knights, we'll get along just fine. Other than that, went to school in Southern California where I studied econ and small business management. Parlayed that into a career for a decade in the financial sector before jumping over to loans, where I've been now for 3 years and loving it.
Nice.
But we're not here to talk about me. Quick little tidbit about Cross Country, all right? My bank. Been around for a couple decades. As of right now, we are writing 1 in every 44 loans. Okay, we are one of the biggest loan companies in the US. We've got more than 120 products. So no matter what your situation is, we can help you find something that best suits your needs. Won a ton of awards for our service, our return back to the community. And, as of 2024, no one is writing more loans than us. Okay? We know what we're doing. All right. Now, to the brass tacks. Home ownership. Why do I want to own a house? Why not rent? Right? Why not have somebody that'll pay for when the dishwasher breaks down? Well, there's a number of good reasons. The very first one, the top one, being investment potential. Did you know that the #1 way that most Americans build their wealth is through home ownership? Right?
Yeah.
Vast majority. How many of you guys have parents out there that bought a house for a sack of potatoes and 2 chickens 20, 30 years ago? All right, a lot of hands out there, a lot of hands up there. And like Steve was saying earlier, a lot of times that investment in your house can outpace the stock market, right? Where you're seeing returns of 3 to 5%. Now the national average will get you between 3 to 5% annually, but out here in the Las Vegas market, just over the last 3 years, we're seeing double-digit gains. Okay, so he is preaching the truth. Right on point, Steve. Well done.
Yeah. Cash it
All
out.
right. #2, one that a lot of people don't realize, tax benefits. You're able to deduct your mortgage, insurance, and your property taxes on your tax returns. Pardon me. And oftentimes, these savings, when you factor them in, mean that you're approaching very close what you would be paying for rent. Instead, let me try that. The savings can make owning a home equal to or less than renting more often than not. 3, fixed payments. How many renters out there have had their rent raised in the last 3 years? Yep, that's pretty much what I expected. Thank you very much. As a renter, you're at the mercy of your landlord. And the odds are they're going to keep increasing the rent, especially if you're in a market where those home prices are going up. By owning your own home with a fixed rate mortgage, your rent will never go up. Okay? It can go down. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But honestly, you are locked in, set, done. And I think the most important thing when it comes to owning a home that really, really makes it magical is access to equity, right? Over time, as you're paying down that mortgage, you're building more and more equity through time and appreciation. You can tap into those funds for emergency, to help out your family, to reinvest, all right? There's so many ways that you can utilize that money that's in that house to help you and yours, okay? Humongous benefit. And of course, customization, right? Can't do anything with something that you're renting, but maybe you want to put in your dream kitchen. Maybe for the fellas out there, they want a man cave for Sunday.
Yeah.
And perhaps, who cares? What if you want to do a bedazzled shrine for Elton John? Whatever. The world is your oyster. Go do it. Now, I've got a question for the entire audience. How many of you have heard that the real estate market is going to crash and it's going to go down?
Yeah.
All right. We're seeing a lot of hands.
Man.
So for the people that are hearing that, I get this question every single week. I go, okay, well, I don't have a crystal ball. But what I can tell you is based on history, you're probably on the wrong side of that bet. All right? So what I've got in front of you is the historical rate of appreciation in real estate. It is the undisputed champ. This goes back more than 80 years. Okay? That's a whole lot of green, guys.
Yeah.
In 80 years, the average appreciation for a home has only gone down 6 times. 6, with 5 of those being between 2007 and 2011. And what happened between 2007 and 2011, guys?
The market crash.
The Great Recession. What Brian was talking about with the no-income loans, right? With people overstating their verification. The entire real estate market got incredibly greedy, from the home buyers to the banks, all the way up. And what we saw was a whole bunch of adjustable rate mortgages that all imploded at the same time and damn near wrecked not just our national financial system, but the global financial system. Okay? And even then, it took 5 years for the housing market to recover. Okay? So short of a global financial catastrophe, you betting on the housing market going down is you betting against the undefeated champ. Next question. How many of you guys have heard that interest rates are way too high to buy a house?
Hell yeah.
A lot of that. Yep, a lot of stuff in the media that is not very kind to us in the real estate industry.
I know.
Well, I've got another graph for you. Hope you don't mind. These are the mortgage rates over the last 5 decades. All right? And when my parents were buying a home, they were happy as hell to get in at an 18% interest rate.
Wow.
18%. All right? Now, where are interest rates currently? They're sitting right around high 6s, low 7s, depending on your particular situation and what loan product you're trying to get into. But with that being said, how did interest rates get to where they are right now? It's very simple. Following the COVID pandemic, the Federal Reserve decided that they needed to infuse cash into our system to keep businesses open, right? To make sure that employers could pay their employees and keep things moving. So they flipped a lever, and they brought interest rates down to their absolute floor, the lowest in American history, right around 3%. Okay? That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, guys. Once in a lifetime. Since then, they've now started to raise interest rates again to try to combat inflation, right? And with all that being said, we're starting to see interest rates finally start to even out, all right? Realistically speaking, the average interest rate over the course of the last 5 decades is somewhere between 6 to 6.5%, all right? We're not far off the mark. And as an added bonus, the Federal Reserve has said that in the back end of 2024 and moving into 2025, they're going to start bringing them down again, which may cause some of you to think, Why don't I wait until those interest rates drop before I start buying a house? The simple answer is a ton of pent-up demand, okay? Whether it be for financial reasons, whether it be for psychological reasons, there are so many people that simply think that they are incapable of buying a home, or they think that they can time the market. You can ask Art. I've been telling anyone with a pair of ears for the last 8 months, if you have the ability to buy, and if you are comfortable with the mortgage payments for at least 2 to 3 years, get in now. You cannot renegotiate your sales price, but you can always refinance your interest rate down low. All right? Get in, build the equity, refi down the line. That's the game. And let's just say after all of this, you go, interest rates are still way too high.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do about it. Well, that's not true either. As of right now, we're seeing a lot of houses come on the Las Vegas market, okay? And it's creating a lot of competition amongst the sellers. And imagine that you're trying to sell a home and your neighbor's trying to sell a home, okay? One of the incentives that people are offering is called seller concessions, where they give you free cash so that you buy their place instead of their neighbor's, all right? And with those seller concessions, it opens up a ton of opportunities for us, right? That means that we can reduce your closing costs, which means you keep more money in your pocket at the closing table, right? It means that you can permanently buy down the rate. You don't like the high 6s, low 7s? Great. Use it to buy it down to 6.5 or as far as you possibly can within reason, right? Or if that doesn't suit you, then I can talk to you about a temporary buy down, which is called a 2-to-1 buy down. We're using seller concessions. For the first year of your loan, your interest rate is reduced by 2%. The next year, reduced by 1%. And in that third year, it's wherever that interest rate was locked in. You get the seller to pay interest for 2 years of your mortgage, which accounts for thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay? This is another one I get a lot. Rico, I don't have 20% for a down payment. Well, I'm here to tell you don't need it. It'd be great if you've got it. If you are just rolling in cash, fantastic. Do it. You'll avoid mortgage insurance with a 20% down payment. But for the vast majority of Americans, that's simply not reasonable. There's a ton of loan products, like Home Ready, Home Possible, that require 3% down. An FHA loan that requires 3.5% down. And even your standard cookie cutter conventional loan is 5% down to get it going. All right? You don't need a boatload of cash to buy a home. All right, well, next thing. What if I'm struggling with the down payment? I just can't scrape the cash together. I'd like to talk to you guys about Home is Possible. With Home is Possible, you can get up to 5% of the value of the loan to apply towards your down payment or closing costs that you don't have to pay back.
Ooh, that's always good. Yeah.
This also is with a 30-year fixed interest rate. There is no first-time home buyer requirement. As long as you make less than $160,000 and the home you're trying to buy is under $766,550, you qualify for this loan.
Wow.
Okay? And I say all of this, guys, to let you know that there are plenty of tools out there to make your dream of being a homeowner reality. Okay? Now, in closing, at the end of the day, everyone's situation is different. Every single loan that I do is unique, right? And again, I mentioned we've got a suite of over 120 different products, and I simply don't have the time to go through all of them. But what it means is that you need to have professionals on your side, like Brian was talking about, to help you chart a path, to help you get moving in the right direction to get this done. And by working with me and guys like Brian, we're going to make sure that we set you on the right path and make sure that you can get into a home for you and yours.
Oh.
Thank you for your time. That's all I got.